Hey guys, it's Natalia and welcome back to another custom order episode. So today's custom order is extra special because it's actually for a friend of mine, which I'm really excited about. My friend Sophia is one of the only friends from FIT that I currently have. She's actually not in fashion design, she's an interior design major. She's super cool. We met in our random math class that we had to take. We sat next to each other the whole time and that's how we met, but she's really great. She's incredibly talented. Also, her Instagram is incredibly aesthetically pleasing and I high-key recommend following her because I'm sure she's gonna do great things in interior design later on in her future. But I'm super excited to be making this custom order for her. She asked for a corset in a light blue color, so that is what we're going to be making. This is the little sketch I sent her and that we kind of agreed on. And yeah, super excited to make this for her. It's extra special just because it's for somebody I know. That makes it all the better for me. So let's just get straight to it. So for this custom order, I'm going to be draping it first, then making the pattern, and then actually making it in the real fabric. But I've put some style lines of where I roughly want it to be. I ran out of this black tape thing, so I can't put all of the other lines I want to do on here, but I'm just going to pencil those in onto my muslin afterwards. But I just wanted to get the general outline of it, and then some of the bigger lines of this is going to be its own piece, this will be a separate piece here, and then there, and then back here. So that is that. When you drape, you usually just do one side of it if it is a symmetrical piece, and then you can just copy it to the other side, so you never have to do the whole thing. So that is what I'm going to do. This piece is probably going to be one actual whole piece, but I'm just going to cut it on fold with the actual fabric later. But I'm just going to do it like this first, and yeah, let's get draping. Draping it. As you can see, I've got it all fully draped, and I added some extra lines of where I want to add extra boning into it. So that is what we've got going on right now. So yeah, let's take this off and actually make the paper pattern. I put my drape onto paper and then I recut it out with new muslin pieces so I could see what it would look like together, make sure that it fits okay, and this is what it looks like. I think it actually looks really good and I don't think I need to make any adjustments, which is really good. I made the seam allowance on each of these seams on here a little bit bigger so that I can make those into my boning channels. Just want to make them extra big to make sure that they weren't too small for the boning, but I think I might end up cutting them down a little bit later. But just FYI, in case you were wondering why I made them extra big. But yeah, these are all of the boning channels I'm gonna have all along. I ended up just cutting down those pieces, the marks that I had made before. So all these are going to be boning channels. So now I guess we can cut it out into our actual fabric. I'm so excited. The fabric we got is so pretty. So let's start cutting it out. Cut out. I guess I hadn't shown you the fabric yet, but we have this really pretty organza fabric that has a very subtle print, and obviously it's transparent. So I have this really pretty blue twill behind it to back it up. So I've pinned them all together so that I can just sew around the edges of all of them and make them one fabric. And then we're gonna serge around the edges after that because I want to serge them together. So we're gonna sew, serge, and then start putting it together. pieces prepared now, and I just put them in order so that I can actually start pinning them together. So we're gonna pin them and then start sewing them with a bigger seam allowance so that I can then do all of the boning channels for it. But this is the layout so far. Together, tried it on the mannequin, and it was like the slightest bit big, and since it's a corset and it ties in the back, it doesn't need to like perfectly fit together in the back, if that makes sense. Like, it can have a little bit of open space for like the little tie up to like be seen, and I didn't really think about that. So what I have decided to do is make some of these seams a little bit bigger and then make them like a double boning. So instead of like pushing them to one side and sewing it down, I'll just like open them like this and make it 2 boning channels, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm doing with some of the seams, not all of them, but yeah, so I'm seam ripping the other ones that I did and then doing that for all the other ones, and yeah, to give it a better shape, a better fit. And I might actually make it a little bit shorter and a little bit lower neckline too, but we'll worry about that later because I don't really have to worry about that too much just yet. But yeah, I want to get this like to fit perfect, and then we'll start putting the rest of it together and adding all the extra stuff. So this is what it looks like right now. Now it fits a lot better. The back is still the slightest bit big, but I was going to take this inward anyway to have like more fabric in for the grommets and stuff. So honestly, this works out just fine, and worst comes to worst, I can literally just cut some of this off and it would be totally okay. So yeah, that is where we're at with it. I'm gonna go ahead and start actually making the channels and like doing the top stitching to create them, and then we'll continue on with that. As far as the size for this corset, Sophia is pretty much my size, so I know that if it fits me, it'll fit her. And again, corsets are slightly adjustable, so even if she's like the tiniest bit bigger and or smaller than me, like it would work out just fine. And this mannequin is roughly my size. It's like the tiniest bit bigger, but again, corsets are adjustable, so it's not really a huge deal. And again, I can also adjust it if need be, but that is the vibe with the sizing. That's why I'm sizing it to my mannequin, because I know it'll fit that way. So yeah, let's get sewing. So I just finished adding all of the boning channels. I'll show you guys what it looks like on the opposite side. As you can see, some of the seams are open, some of them are smaller in this way. So these are like double channels and these are single, so that's what it looks like. This is the boning that I'm gonna use. It's the best boning you can probably use because it doesn't bend and it doesn't change shape at all because it is steel. So this is what it looks like. However, you need pliers to be able to obviously cut it, and I don't have any, so I'm gonna go home today to have dinner with my mom. So I'm just gonna take some pliers from my house and then bring them back. So I'll probably continue this tomorrow and finish it then, but I just wanted to show you guys where we're at with it. And yeah, I guess I will continue tomorrow and see you guys then. So it's been a few days. I've kind of marked where I want to reshape this corset at, because I think I made it a little too long and I think this is a little too high. So I kind of just marked where I want it to be roughly so that I can cut that out. I'm gonna leave the back pretty much as is as far as length goes, but I do want to shorten the front a bit and again bring the neckline down a bit too. So I went ahead and marked that, and I'm gonna go ahead and like cut that, and then we're going to do all of the boning once I have the legit measurements that I need for the boning, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna cut that and we'll get right back to it. Okay, so I just cut it down a little bit to where I want it to be, and now we're gonna focus in on the boning. So I'm gonna be using steel boning that looks like this, and essentially you have to cut it down obviously, and it is gonna end up looking like this. It has little things at the end that you put on it so it obviously doesn't like poke you and such. So you have to cut it down to its exact measurement. When you're cutting the boning to the exact measurement, you obviously wanna make sure there's enough room for like seam allowance up here, so you're not obviously doing it from the very top to the very bottom. So this would be like right here, and there's like enough space on either side for the seam allowance to finish off the edges and such. And then as you can see, this just goes in there perfectly, looks really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and start hammering this down and making my boning, so let's do it. Alright, I've got like direct sunlight coming towards this right now, so don't mind the weird lighting, but I got the boning into all of the channels that I made. It took for freaking ever to hammer those down, but now I've taken a little part of the end and folded it in. I'm going to make a channel on this side, channel on that side, and then leave an empty space in the middle for the grommets. This will help enforce the seam a lot better and make sure it doesn't like weirdly collapse on itself. So I did that on both ends, and I'm gonna go ahead and sew those channels so I can make the boning for it, and then we can put the grommets in to then finish all the edges around it. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see it, but I've marked with chalk where I want to put my grommets in, so I have them right here, and I'm going to just make some holes and put them in. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm not entirely sure where I left you guys off at, but I got the grommets in, and I've actually like test tried one of these sides, putting in like little straps and stuff just to see what I want to do on the other side. So I'm gonna show you guys what I did. Essentially, I made a little bias strip out of the lining fabric and put it on the like armhole part, and then I made little straps for it so that it'll like tie all cute with the organza. So it'll look something like that. I'm very excited about it. So I went ahead and cut out a piece of fabric on bias, so on a 45-degree angle. I'm gonna go ahead and iron it 4 times, like double inwards, if that makes sense. And then we're gonna attach it onto here, and then we're also going to go ahead and sew these little things up and attach them as well. So that is the vibe. I'm super excited about how this is turning out. I think this is so cute, and it's gonna be like tied like this. I think that's so freaking cute. So let's get ironing and sewing. So I just finished putting the binding on all of the seams up here. I still need to like iron it out and make it obviously look nice, but I put it on everywhere and I tied these up just to see what it would look like. I'm gonna be adding a ruffle at the bottom, so that is honestly the last thing we have, and then it's gonna be fully done, and then I'm gonna make like a little ribbon out of the organza for the tying up at the back. But I'm so excited with how this is turning out, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out of there, and then we'll attach it and we'll be done. that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love making custom orders and I think it's super fun to show you guys the process, even though I know it's not really a tutorial or anything, but I know that you guys really love seeing just like behind the scenes of them. So let me know if you want more, because I definitely have a lot I could do. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!